Hey there everyone, it's Kelly with Kellyscards.ca and welcome to this week's What's in My Stash video. For this week I thought I would do background stamps. Stamps is a huge topic, so I thought I would break it down yet again and just focus today on background stamps and even some ideas to make your own type of backgrounds. So to get started, I have a lot of my favorite things background stamps. I really like their stamps. They are really nice. They're made of rubber and they have, of course, the foam on the back because of the rubber, so you can stamp them just like this without a stamp press, which is awesome. And I also like the fact that it is big. So if I take this panel that is A2 size, you can see it fits either way. So I really like my favorite things. And I really like the way they make their stamps. Again, the rubber is a lot better quality in my opinion than the clear stamps, and it really gets a good impression every time, and I love the size. So this stamp here is called Grid Background, and I really like it, and I thought what I would do is I would stamp up each of these backgrounds quick and to show you what it looks like stamped out. So I'm just going to use some of this new Distress Oxide, and this is the walnut ink, and I'm just going to do some circles and rub. The only thing is you just want to make sure any of those little pieces of the ink pad don't get left there. And now what you can do is you have two choices. You can use a brayer and go across, or you can use a spare sheet of paper, which I will show you in 1 second. So I'm going to get this put on nice and straight, and then I'm just going to reach here for a spare sheet of paper, and then I am going to rub, and then that way I can kind of see where that piece of paper is, and I can kind of rub where I need to get this impressed. The nice thing about the brayer is you're going to put even pressure on it, where doing it this way you may get some darker or lighter patches, which is okay. And once we pull this off, you can see how nice the stamp happened. And I really like how these rubber stamps stamp. Again, I think they're much better quality than the clear stamp, but you could even actually do darker areas and lighter areas and remove areas on these stamps to kind of get a different toned type of stamping. So you might have lighter spots here or that, or you can only stamp on a portion. So you can really play with a lot of these background stamps. So this one again was the My Favorite Thing grid stamp. The next background stamp I have to show, this is going to seem like a My Favorite Thing party, which it is because I love a lot of their background stamps. This is the Romantic Script. Everybody loves text in the background as a background stamp. Really like this. Think that it looks good with some of these lighter colors. So again, I'm going to stamp this to show you what it looks like, and I'm going to use some of this fossilized amber, and this is again the Distressed Oxide, and really like how this is going to look. So I've got a fair amount of ink there, and again I'm going to try to place this nice and straight. And with the words, it's a little bit more important to get it straight than some of the patterns like the flourishes or the flowers, but really enjoy this pattern with the writing. I've looked many times for a good word stamp, and I really like this. Look how beautiful that is. And again, the same thing with the grid. You could do lighter and darker tones. You could have multiple tones, so you could first go across here with a blue, and then you could go across here with a red, and so forth, kind of get a rainbow look. But look how beautiful this stamp is. And again, this is the My Favorite Things Romantic Script background stamp. Really love this one. This is the Garden Flourish background stamp, and really love again this stamp. Again, it doesn't have quite a right or straight pattern to it because it's got these flourishes, and I'm going to use some of these peeled paint ink here on here to just see how that looks. And what I love about this oxide ink is you can really see where you have got the ink on these stamps. It's not quite like the distress ink where you can't see it. You can really see this oxide ink, which I love. So again, just like the other ones, we're going to put it down and get our spare sheet over here. And we're going to do a little bit of rubbing here and take a look at this amazing background. I believe they have stencils that are much like this as well. And I just love this. Again, this would be another really great background stamp to do some heat embossing with. And look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And again, this embossed and watercolored would look incredible. So keep background stamps in mind about having them in your stash so that you can make your own papers, because this is essentially like what a lot of the design papers look like, but now you have the ability to make them your own color and as dark or light as you want. So love these stamps. And again, this is my favorite thing, and it's the Garden Flourish background stamp. The next background stamp is, I'm going to do another company here. This is the Hero Arts Bold Prints, and this one here is called the Rings Bold Print. As soon as I saw this one come out, I went absolutely crazy. I knew I had to have this one. It just seems so playful and light. Really like how this stamp stamps. And again, I'm just going to use again some of this oxide ink, and this is Faded Jeans, and this is definitely one of my favorite colors on the Stress Ink line. And again, I'm going to do the same type of thing. Now this one doesn't really matter because it's a pattern. You don't have to worry about getting it straight because there really isn't a straightness. But again, I'm just going to put this nicely on here and bring in my scrap paper like that and rub. And I really, really love this background stamp. Keep in mind, if you have background stamps, you can make your own background papers and layer on top. A lot of the designer papers are, you know, $1 to $2 a piece. And by making your own, this is going to save you a lot of money. Plus, you can use your own techniques and make it your own. And look at how great that's stamped, and what a great pattern. I really can't wait to use this background stamp a lot more. Since I got it, I've only used it one time, and I would love to use this a lot more because look at how beautiful that is. Again, this one here is from Hero Arts, and it's the Rings Bold Prints background stamp. Moving on now, I will get into, this is a Simon Says stamp, and this is the Emma background. And I have to say, when it comes to one of the most beautiful background dies I have ever seen ever, I think this would win the prize for me. I love the pattern of this die. I even love that it's round, and I think it's really great to have off of the paper stamping where you can just have some, basically you could have the whole piece done, or you could do a little section of it like that. Really like the pattern of this, and again, it's very similar to the My Favorite Things die where it's got the rubber made out of the rubber with the foam backing to help you get a good impression, and I really like the size of this as well. So we're going to ink this one up, and I'm going to use a little bit of this oxide ink in the Worn Lipstick, trying to get a look at all of these colors. Since I have taken some time off of crafting, I'm so glad to be back, and I'm able to play with some of the new things that I got. So you have two choices. You can lean it like this, or you can flip it over. With this particular one, I am going to flip it over, and this one here you can just kind of put upside down and use your fingers. You could use a brayer if you wanted. It really isn't quite necessary with this stamp, but I'm just going to put it on like this, and I'm going to peel this off, and look at this. Once I remove this, you can get a good look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And so many people have done heat embossing techniques with this, and then watercolors, especially in gold. This is absolutely gorgeous, and literally I saw Laura Basson do the video basically intro to this stamp, and I went straight to Simon Says and bought it because it is so beautiful. So again, this is from Simon Says stamp, and again, this is this beautiful Emma background stamp. The next background stamp is this one here, And this is from Simon Says Stamp, and this is their 6x6 diagonal stamp background stamp. To show you this stamp, again, I'm going to just leave this down here again. It is rubber like the My Favorite Things ones and the other Simon Says Stamp one. And I'm just going to open up here this Distress Oxide just to show off a few more colors here. This one here is Fired Brick. And I'm just going to get whatever that is off of the stamp there. And I'm just going to rub it. And again, these oxide inks are awesome. You can see exactly how much coverage you have on these background stamps. And then that way you know it's all inked up. So we'll get that put on there. And we'll bring this in. This one we'll want to spend a little bit more time lining up than say the Flourish one because it is stripes like that. But even this one a little offset would look pretty cool. And we'll just rub all over. And this would make great background papers. Now I didn't quite get it as perfect as I would like, but you can see what the pattern looks like. Really nice stripes, great basically distance between the stripes. And I just love the look of this stamp. It is a great stamp. You can make so many papers that will go with everything with this one. So again, this is the Simon Says Stamp, and this is their diagonal stripes 6x6 stamp. I have a new one to my collection that I got at my local scrapbooking store. This is a Cardabella stamp, and this goes with one of their new paper line collections. And this one here is the Galaxy A2 stamp. So again, we know that it's going to fit an A2 size card. This one is a clear stamp. Why I love this stamp so much is all of these wonderful little planets and stars. I can see embossing this and having this on a black piece of cardstock and maybe having, say, metallic planets or whatnot. So can't wait to use that one in that way. But I think what I'll do is I will use some of this purple oxide ink, and I'm just opening it here, this Wilted Violet. This is my first go at this color, and with this one I'm just going to kind of pat and rub because I just want to make sure I get all of those little stars as well as the planets and try to get even coverage. And that looks good. Really love the brightness of these new oxide inks, and you can basically put it anywhere. I really want to get this ringed planet. So I'll put it there, and again I will bring my piece of paper over and get it set up so I can do the same thing. And I want to press in all the areas because of all of those stars. This would make really nice mail cards, even baby cards. That Galaxy theme is pretty popular right now. A lot of people doing a lot of distress inking and different cards with the Galaxy theme, and look how fun that looks. I even think adding different colors of black throughout here and then having some purple and black, wow, that would be pretty spectacular. So I can't wait to try out some of these type of ideas with this stamp. So again, this one here is from Cardabella, and this is their Galaxy A2 stamp. Love it. I purchased this a number of years ago. This is from Tim Holtz. This is this collection with the wallpaper and wood. Really like both of these patterns. The wood one is excellent for mail cards, and this wallpaper type one is a beautiful image. So I think what I'll do is I'll leave them attached and I will do a sample of each. This wood stamp, I'm going to use this walnut stain. It would seem fitting for the wood theme. And I'm going to get this put over. Now these stamps aren't as big, so it will fit this size, which is just short of A2, because I usually cut my panels to be 4 by 5 1/4 so that I have that edge all the way around my A2 size card. So these ones aren't as big, but I've always loved these stamps and the patterns that come with this Tim Holtz set. And look at this. This is really nice. Love the texture look to this stamp, and even the little knot there, that's really great. Again, using multiple colors and tones in that, you can obviously vary from this. And now I'm going to do this side here. This is the wallpaper side, and maybe I will pick out some of this purple again, and I'll just rub it onto the stamp. There we go. We'll just get this put on there, and we'll get this one right up to the edge there and place down. And love the look of this stamp as well. And now that that's on there, I can pull this up and off. And check this out. Isn't that beautiful? I just love this stamp. And again, this is the wallpaper one with the wallpaper and the wood set with Tim Holtz. But before I ended this video on background stamps, one of the techniques that a lot of people like to use that I want to share with you today is don't be afraid to make your own backgrounds out of other stamps. So for instance, My Favorite Things has this beautiful paint stamp. These are the distressed patterns, and I have another stamp set of paint splotches that they've also made. And you could take this splotch and basically stamp it all over the page. Even if you have critters, you could take your critter stamp and line it up and go all the way across. You could make your own background that way. So backgrounds are a real fun way to kind of add interest to your cards, and there's so many ways to do that, whether it's through a background stamp or smaller stamps or even partial stamping and inking. So I hope that you'll think about that technique, which will help you come up with some great ideas on some backgrounds you can make for your projects. I've just brought these samples in here. Again, look at the variety of the background stamps that you can buy on the market. There are so many great companies. Really love both Simon Says Stamp and My Favorite Things. They make phenomenal background stamps. And again, with so much choice and color, it is pretty much endless that you can reuse a background stamp over and over again. Even with heat embossing, there is a lot of fun to be had and some really great designs. So I hope you enjoyed this What's in My Stash, this week's version all about background stamps. I will be continuing this series with other stamps in the future, but I thought I would cover only background stamps today because, as you can see, I did have quite a few of the background stamps. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can check me out on my website at Kellyscards.ca. You can subscribe for more videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.